Hey everyone, welcome back. So March has come and gone, and honestly I had fully intended to film some videos as I normally do, but I spent the second week of the month in DC, and that was kind of when everything broke loose, and ever since then it's been trying to keep up with running a business in light of everything that's been changing, sometimes as often as 24 hours. So here we are, it's April 1st. And so I figured I would kind of show you where I've ended up, because you'll notice I have something, well, actually two things kind of new, at least newer. So I'll explain why I'm in these two and kind of what I'm doing. But I did really quick want to talk a little bit about where quarter one ended up in my power sheets. So for March, I didn't really fill out too much of anything. I was fully intending to do the whole eye doctor appointment thing when I got back from DC. That was a no. I did get Cambridge taxes filed, so actually this got done, thankfully. I have not done my personal taxes yet. I did kind of organize things last weekend, so we'll give myself like a third of credit here. Did not do anything with the Daughters of the King email list, but I did talk with the president of the diocese, and she said she wasn't in any hurry, so I do not feel bad about that. And I did not do any decluttering of the dressers in the master bedroom. In fact, I actually think they're worse now. So yeah, that's kind of how it ended up. And then, you know, I generally don't do a whole lot with the weekly action items. I did get April posted on Etsy. Church, I don't actually remember. I think I might have gone the first Sunday. The second one I was exhausted because I'd just gotten back from DC, and then actually I guess I did go to virtual church on the fourth week. So, and these things, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I've actually been keeping track of these in my planner directly. Same thing with the daily stuff. So I got a few things done, but not too much. As far as spring goes, I have not done anything with new goals. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the same ones. They are kind of evergreen, and I'm going to apologize for the dogs growling in the background. The landscapers are here, so this is my life. In fact, I was actually giving an interview today for the news station, because I'm in the rental housing industry, president of the local association, and there are tenants' rights groups that are threatening rent strikes today for people who can pay their rent but just don't want to. So they made it almost all the way through the interview without barking. So I was like, well, it's better than nothing. So this has been my day today. Anyway, so these were my 2020 goals at the beginning of the year. Honestly, I'll probably keep them because I think they still apply. It's just a lot of stuff's on hold right now. So, but I'm kind of waiting to see where I end up, whether I want to change my goals or not. So that's where that has been. So on to my daily planner stuff. So this I moved into in March. I was in a B6 stalogy, and for whatever reason, I just felt like I needed a change. You know, sometimes it's like the only thing you can control, and so you're going to mess with it and adjust it anyway. So this is what I ended up doing. As I moved into the Spek custom that I ordered at the end of last year. This is the standard traveler's notebook size. And I think I've mentioned on Instagram, if you follow me there, I do kind of leave my planner set up. So if I decide to go back into a size, it's actually fairly easy. I just move back in, update a few pages, and then I'm kind of good to go. So the first section is actually still my monthly, which actually we're in April now, so I'll go ahead and change that over. As you can see, a lot of things have been crossed out. In fact, I actually just got a cancellation notice about my hair appointment on Tuesday. So I'll need to go in and reschedule that, hopefully for sometime in May. And pretty much everything else here is just meeting electronically via Zoom. I'm probably not going to be DJing middle of April either, so cross that out. So the first section is still my monthly section. The second section is just a plain dot grid note paper. These are Tomoe River paper. And how I have this set up, I went ahead and wrote in my first quarter goals, and then I transferred my tending list to the second page here. So you can actually see this is where I was keeping track of some of this. When I did laundry, empty trash, vacuum, and I mentioned here that I can check these off. And obviously I didn't post any YouTube videos. So I do keep my tending list in my planner just because I have this with me pretty much everywhere, so that way I can look at it. I did go ahead and plan the week out here. I'll show you I did something different starting this next week. And then I just have kind of daily information about what I'm doing, that sort of thing. I have a page for a weekly review, and I went ahead and brought forward my tending list for April. I know I didn't upgrade my goals, but I did have stuff I'm still working on that I just brought forward. So this is kind of what my tending list is going to look like for now. And then we have just my daily pages here. So what I did this next week, or this current week, is I have a Cocoa Daisy insert that I went ahead and ordered, and then I updated my subscription, so I'll start getting this going forward. So I'm actually going to plan my weeks in here. So basically I went through and just dated out all the pages, and then this will be where stuff to cross out in several places. So this will be where I keep track of everything, just kind of on a higher view, I guess you could say. So, and I don't have anything in the middle yet. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. But the back here, I'm doing something that we talked about during our quiet day for Daughters of the King at the beginning of March. It's called the Daily Examen, which is a practice, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of Saint Ignatius, I think. Is the kind of the person who came up with it. And I'll actually link down below a couple of websites that I've been using to do this. So this has kind of been what I've been doing for my Lent study. Off and on, I'm actually doing several things right now, and I just kind of rotate through just as time allows. But basically it's looking over the previous day, but kind of through the eyes of what went well, what didn't go well, in light of what your goals are. Say you're trying to create a habit or break a habit. So you're kind of looking more at your day through God's eyes rather than just kind of writing down what happened. So that's what I'm using this back section for. As you can see, I'm just writing the date in. I'm not going to make it super fancy at this point in time because I've been using the second set of date stickers elsewhere. So this next section here is my reference section, which you probably have seen in every single one of my planners. In the middle, I usually have my daily and weekly routines, which this is how my day and week usually goes. But in light of what's going on right now, I didn't want to reprint the entire booklet when the only thing changing was basically these 2 pages. So I went ahead and just created a one-page essentially insert that is updated homework and weekly routines for while I'm working at home. So that's kind of how I handled making an adjustment for that time. If you haven't seen this section before, essentially I have my values here in the front, my rule of life, which is something I put together as a part of my discernment for Daughters of the King. Then I have my 2020 goals, which these 2 pages, I keep finding typos in here. You'd think by now I would have found them all, but I found a few more. So my 2020 goals, prioritizing questions, homework and weekly routines. The next page is the annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily routines. I have a couple of pages paper clipped off. Essentially, it's my budget for the month, or for each month. And then also the phone list for my office. And then on the back here, I have pre-trip and post-trip lists of things I like to do. And then that is what's at the end. If you've watched previous videos, I've had a 5-year planner in the back. And I didn't find myself using it all that much. I still have it in case I want to reference, but I was trying to keep this fairly thin since this does now have a snap as opposed to an elastic. So I went ahead and took it out for now, just to give myself a little more room and make it a little lighter. In the back here, I just have kind of the larger sticker sheets from Cocoa Daisy, and then a Clean Mama cleaning routine sheet. So front here, just more stickers from Cocoa Daisy just for decoration and stuff, and just notepad, little journaling card for decoration. If I hadn't mentioned it already, pretty much everything in here is from Cocoa Daisy, with the exception of this, which I printed out myself. Obviously, the picture of myself and my husband. And I believe that's cloth and paper. But I really liked the rainbow theme this month for April because I just kind of feel like it's really needed. We need a dose of cheerfulness. Which, speaking of a dose of cheerfulness, that's how I ended up with my little pocket planner here. So if you followed me on Instagram, the first one I was using was a Spek Parm. It's a Touch Me planner, which I got last fall. Just felt the need to be playing with pocket size for whatever reason. And I've had a lot of people ask me about a kind of setup video or a walkthrough, so here you go. Again, a lot of the deco in here is also from Cocoa Daisy. A lot of these are actually just printables from their website. This is just a clip. It's actually a Nordstrom gift card that's already been used for cutting washi, tag. Tried to keep the little more decorative, but also still staying kind of minimal. More printable things, same with this. Welcome to our new normal, just seemed very appropriate for right now. First section again is also monthly. The next section here is weekly. Also appropriate. Good morning, here we go again. So this is Peanuts Planner Co. insert. These are actually from my shop. These are the monthly ones. I did just make it just the monthly. The ones in my shop actually have like a to-do list and an index. But if there's interest in just the monthly pages, I actually have it available now, so I can actually definitely put that up as a custom for you if anybody wants just that version. So this is just kind of the weekly. This is what it looks like when you print it off. I actually think this, I'd have to look up the number. I can post it down below. She does have freebies in her group, but I think this was one of her paid inserts. So this is how I'm using it. I just have like a little mini calendar up here. I try and do that every single month. Just kind of an overview of what's going on that week, daily tracker. I keep track of what my meal plan is there, cleaning plan, and then just some general to-do items. The next section is meals. So this is where I do kind of my actual meal planning, also with my grocery list. I have a grocery guide in here also, but I'm not really using that right now. List sections next. This is where I have another copy of my reference section. So kind of the same setup, although I did fix the typos in this version. So because this is smaller, things are printed out on different pages. And I don't think I have, yeah, so this version doesn't have the budget in it because I have that elsewhere in here. So I have reoccurring tasks here, things that I do. Just made myself a note that I want to do some additional study on crisis communication for hopefully obvious reasons. Contacts here, this is actually where I have the phone numbers and information for our employees. Home section here has a cleaning printable that I have not done anything with yet, but I just set this up like last week. Finances section, which has a pullout where I'm just kind of keeping track of what I do on what day, and then there's a check off for it. I'm not listing all the bills and all of the loan tracking and everything like that. This is the monthly budget page from my shop, but behind it I have another one which has my actual numbers on it. And then just some paper here in the back, case I need to write myself a note and a pen. I usually get asked about these a lot. It's a Pentel Energel Philography. Amazon has them, JetPens does too. I think JetPens prices are better. But the refills take just your normal Pentel Energel, whichever size you like, but you can also fit the Zebra Sarasa refills in here, and I actually have a 0.4 Zebra Sarasa refill in it right now because it writes very thinly, and I just like the smaller size for the pocket planner. This one's actually the pen that came with the Cocoa Daisy kit, and it has one of those, I think they're C1 refills because they're only like this big, and it's a 0.5. So that's my planner setup right now and kind of how I'm using stuff and what I'm doing. I just kind of use this for general planning for the week. It's kind of just an at-home planner, kind of things are going on around the house. And then this is more for stuff that has my work things in it, and what I'm keeping track of for things I need to do at work. Now I am also using Notion, and that's where I'm tracking all of my tasks for work and home and projects and things like that. At some point I will film a video on that, I think. Notion is a very robust system that you can do pretty much anything with because it has tables that you can connect, and so it can be used kind of as a database. So it can be very simple for lists, but it can also be very complex as far as being able to make like relational tables into a database. So it's part of it's kind of not for the faint of heart, but you can do some really cool stuff with it. So anyway, that's for another time. I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed just kind of seeing where I am right now. Personally, I'm just trying to kind of keep my life going, keep the company going, and not go crazy in the meantime. Because I'm working from home right now, which means that some of the time I'm also wrangling dogs, trying to keep them quiet on conference calls and things like that, which I know anybody who has kids or animals is doing the same thing, so we're all in the same boat, which is nice because honestly it means that people are giving each other a lot of grace right now. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. Happy to answer anything I might not have addressed or left out, whether I answer in a comment or if I make it a topic for a future video. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!